So today our topic is multiple assessment tools. So what are the different ways? See, as class 9 and 10 teachers, we have to be very clear about what are the assessment tools required by CBSE. We all are aware of 80 marks written test, the term 1, term 2 test. But besides that, what else is required? We have to be aware of that also. So what is internal assessment? Internal, as we all are aware of the word. Assessment, we all know. That is the assessment which we have at the end of term 1, term 2. Along with that 80 marks assessment, we have internal assessment also, which is done inside the school by us. So internal assessment or IA is held for 20 marks. Now this assessment is done inside the school premises and it is formative in nature. So we are going to test the children and it is up to us how we are testing them. Of course, we have to keep evidences. We have to provide evidence anytime to CBSE. Now, this internal assessment assesses students in diverse manner. It is not only pen and paper test. We can have assessment in various areas which the children will be happy to do. We can have project work, we can do debates, we can have discussions. See, everybody may not be very good in writing a project and all, but they can be very good in role play. We can have role play. That is up to the teachers what they assess the children on. So this internal assessment is a diverse manner and it can be held at different times. And it also examines a broad range of curriculum objectives. Now, this internal assessment is school-based assessment. And here, dual role of providing complete picture of child's ability or progress is visible towards fulfilling the aim of education and informing teachers about the students' progress. I have seen in class 10, when first we take the exam, see, initially they are not so serious. I myself have gone through it and have realized what they were in the beginning of class 10 and what happens towards the end. There's a big difference. That seriousness will come in the children and you can see that visibly in the marks itself. And we have to make sure that they are serious at this level. So we have to continuously support them with classroom learning. Now, this internal assessment informs the individual learner about his or her progress over a period, enabling them to develop strategies to improve learning. So continuously when we are assessing the children through different methods, we do set exam in DAV, we are doing set exams of 20 marks, 25 marks, then various exams. Every month we are doing this improvement exam to make the children realize, and these improvement exam we have for only say 1 or 2 topics, so that the child will realize that first of all, they'll concentrate on that 1 or 2 lessons and they'll do it very well. And if in case they don't do well in the next exam, they will try to improve, because we tell them all these marks are counted. We take an average of the marks. See, finally, what we do is up to us, but we try to take an average of these marks. Now, what are the different parts of the internal assessment? Internal assessment has mainly 3 parts. That is periodic assessment of 10 marks, portfolio, which is 5 marks, and subject enrichment activities of 5 marks. I will take up each one of them in detail, because here we are all 9, 10 teachers. We should be aware what are the different areas we can improve on also. So the aim of this is to find out areas for improvement and assess the students comprehensively. So we have to assess them. We have to understand where we can give them more support. So periodic test is the first, which has 10 marks allotted by it from the board itself. So the main purpose of periodic assessment, so over a period, say intervals, we have this assessment, is to assess the learning progress of the student, how they are learning, how they are improving, whether they are improving or not. So this is done at a regular interval. So a gap of 1 month, 2 months, we can have this periodic assessments. and it provides a feedback. Teachers are given feedback. Teachers will understand which child is lacking in which areas, and it gives an insight to the teachers regarding the learner's need. Suppose when we take a test on, say, nationalism of India, and we take a test on money and credit. If we see in money and credit, more or less children have got above 50%. But in history lesson, nationalism, they have not, the average is less than 50. So what does that tell us as a teacher? That I have to concentrate on the revision of that lesson more. So it gives us an insight into the area where we can develop the children. So for this remedial teaching, we will know which areas we need to give remedial. We will understand what should be my target when I'm teaching the children. So for this, remedial teaching and curricular targets are set for a student or a group of students. It may not be that whole class is weak in that particular topic, maybe a group of children. So with their marks, we try to segregate those children who need support. We don't call them weak. Maybe somewhere they have not understood the way I'm teaching, or maybe the language of the book. That is one very important thing we have to see, the language of our book, especially when we are living in rural areas or semi-urban areas. Language, these children are not good in English. And the CBSE books are made in such a way that your English has to be good. So we have to explain each and every word, each and every line. Shanti ma'am, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I feel, English, even in class 9, I have felt this, children can't understand. I always tell them, see, these books are made keeping your age, your level in mind. But that doesn't happen because it is for the children of the entire country. So city children, maybe they are better, they are speaking English more in school, they are more exposed to English. But our children, when we are living in rural or semi-urban areas, we face this problem. So we should be very, very sure that child understands the books, understands the language, because if they don't understand, they will have problem in understanding question also.
Yeah.
And social science paper is not, direct questions are not there.
Mhm.
I think almost 30% may be direct, remaining will be indirect. So they have to understand the question. So continuously, if they go on reading and solve a variety of papers that we supply them, we are continuously giving them papers. We are giving them variety of questions. In fact, when we are teaching in class, what I do, ma'am, how I do is every paragraph wise, I give them question. In fact, if you tell children to come up with the questions also, they will learn better.
Mhm.
So each paragraph, if I give questions alongside while I'm teaching, they will grasp the topic in a better manner.
Yes.
So that is important, I feel, for them, especially because the children need support in when it comes to understanding the books. So that should be our motto when we are doing remedial teaching. Curriculum targets should be set for the students or a group of students. Now the feedback, what feedback we get from the children, it will help us to understand the children's strengths, their weaknesses also. So feedback also helps students to know their errors. And we should openly share the feedback with the children when we are giving them the papers, whatever short test, set exam, subject improvement, we call it, we are conducting, we are giving back the papers to the children, and we are making them understand where they have lost marks. So if we do that at a regular basis, these children will understand the problem and work on it. So the students thus are enabled for better learning and setting up a realistic goal. They have to understand which level they have to reach. So in essence, we can say that this is an assessment for, of, and as learning. So periodic assessment is very, very important for the children. We should have every month, in fact, to help them to develop better. So periodic assessments are again divided into two parts. You have periodic test, which is 5 marks, and we have multiple assessment test, which is also 5 marks. Now, what are the periodic tests? Here, the average of the best two can be taken for final submission. See, at the end, we have to submit for the board also. Here, we can take the average of the best two. We may have conducted 6 exams. So best two you can select and take the average for submitting the marks. Now these tests tend to follow a pattern. So we make the paper, it is written exam, we can give 1 mark, 3 marks, 5 mark questions, which is quite similar to the final end of course exam. So at the end, what is our aim? To prepare the children for the board exam. So in the board exam, it is they have 2 mark questions, 3 mark questions, source-based question, 4 mark and 5 mark. So when we are taking this periodic test also, we should keep this board pattern in mind so that we are preparing them for it finally. And have a gradual increasing portion of content. What does that mean? In the beginning, when we start, we will have, obviously, when we are teaching first month, we have taught only 1 or 2 lessons. So we will have first of 2 lessons exam. Then slowly we will increase the number of lessons because we have to make the children prepare for all the lessons. Term 2 will have, say, average, they will have 6 or 7 lessons. They should have that capacity to learn so many lessons together. So hence, they also tend to prepare students for the final summative exam, that is 80 marks exam, in a more confident manner. So as and when we take periodic test, we increase the number of lessons so that finally they get confidence when they are learning 8 lessons together for the board exam. Along with that, we have multiple assessment of 5 marks. Now, multiple assessment strategies, these are relevant to particular learning outcomes and are advised over a period of curriculum transaction. So over a period, we take these multiple assessment tests. Now, the subject teachers would determine the type and frequency of these. So it is up to us what type of multiple assessment we take. We can take assignments, we can take MCQ test, we can give them say assignment work to do at the home also, or open book test, anything we can do. That is multiple assessment, that is up to the teacher. The subject teachers would determine the type and frequency, and this would make the assessment more comprehensive and provide the school and the teachers flexibility to use multiple and diverse techniques. So various ways we can take these multiple assessment tests. Now, what are the different multiple assessment tools which we can apply in our classes? Definitely observations, oral test, we can ask oral questions also. We can do individual or group work, we can give them also, class discussions, field work. Then concept maps. Sometimes we are not clear. What do you mean by these concept maps? So concept mapping tools allows us and our children to visually depict a system of relations. Teachers, for tomorrow's session, I will send you one pre-reading material. In that, I have sent some concept maps are there. Say any lesson, you can have a particular, you can make a table to understand it better. So that is a concept map. So sometimes children understand topics easily when concept maps are done. They can do concept map in their classwork book. You can ask them to do an assignment also. Then graphic organizers. These are the different tools which are recommended by CBSE. So we can use anything if we want. They all come under multiple assessment tools. Graphic organizers are there. What are graphic organizer? A graphic organizer is a teaching and learning tool that is used to organize information and ideas in a way that is easy to comprehend. So visually, you can do this information. By integrating text and visual effects of it, Graphic organizers show relationships and connections between concepts, terms, and facts. Another thing is visual representation, that is through graphs, through chart, to diagrams. You can understand topics also. We can give that as an assessment tool also to children. So these are the different multiple assessment tools which is recommended by the CBSE board. Next, you have portfolio, which also carries 5 marks. Now, the creation of portfolio is suggested to broaden the scope of learning and achieve diverse curriculum outcomes by examining a range of evidence of students. So students do a lot of work. They are doing classwork, they are doing assignments, they are doing projects. So everything comes, whatever work they have done comes under the portfolio. We can ask them to make a file and put everything. We give assignments for every lesson that they can file in it. Classwork has to be done very, very properly. They have to write the index, they have to note down the dates. All the classwork should be perfect with map work related to the lesson. So all this can be marked on also. So for this, we have 5 marks. So it is suggested that portfolio take the form of journal or notebook that would include, besides classwork, student artifacts also. Whatever special work they do. See, children take part in webinars, debate, all that also we can include in their portfolio. So this portfolio can be seen both as a process and a product. So the process is through which the child is learning, and the product, what they will finally become at the end of the year. So thus a portfolio helps to establish a common vision of goals and gives a holistic, complete picture of how the students are learning and increasing their accountability and contributing to improve teaching and learning. So this should help them to learn in a better way. Now, how to prepare a portfolio? It is important to know why a portfolio is being created and be clear of the process, purpose of it. It is suggested that portfolios will be an extension of a notebook developed subject-wise. This would include classwork, home assignments that would help us to evaluate the learner's progress. A periodic review of the evidences included in the portfolio would facilitate self-assessment by teachers who will be more aware of their own learning and be able to identify the children's strengths and weaknesses. Definitely, we are regularly giving them classwork while teaching. In fact, while teaching a lesson, every topic, see, after a chapter, if I give questions, it becomes difficult for the child. So it's better every topic wise, if I give them questions and they write it, every week once we can check what they are doing. Or in class also, last 5 minutes, we can tell them to start writing so that they get into the habit of completing their work on time. And when they're doing in class, if you go around and check what children are doing also, it will be helpful for us to see whether they have done the previous questions or not. So these classworks play a very, very important role. Some children who literally don't want to write class, we have to make sure that they do it. We can explain to them the necessity of it and how important it is for the board. All this, if we explain to them, definitely they will do it. So the portfolios also provide an opportunity to the learners to share and comment on each other's work also. Children are very well aware of how they are doing the classwork, how others are doing, and they take help from their friends also if they're not able to complete. So they help each other in doing the classwork also. Now, assessing the portfolios, how do we assess it? How do we give those 5 marks? Of course, rubrics are there. Definitely, board has suggested some rubrics which we follow. So students' portfolio can be effectively evaluated using a simple scoring rubrics. So what are the rubrics which we can use when we are assessing the portfolios? Number 1, organization, which includes neatness, and visual appeal. Number 2, completion of guided work focused on specific curriculum objectives. So their work should be complete. Number 3, evidence of students' growth. How are they improving? What is happening? Are they doing everything or not? And 4th, inclusion of all relevant work. So complete work should be there. Maps should be included, or maybe if a graph is required, that should be included also. So teachers can include other subject relevant criteria and elements to assess the portfolios also. Now, last is the subject enrichment activities. How do we do the subject enrichment? For social science, subject enrichment activity is very simple. We have project work, which we have to give them. Term 1, term 2. So subject enrichment activities are aligned with the secondary school curriculum, and its aim is to enrichment of understanding and skill development. So the purpose of giving this activity is to help children to develop some knowledge about what they are doing. In term 1, we have consumer rights is there, one of the options which we have for giving for subject enrichment. And term 2, we do art integration project, because that is what the board wants us to do. So these subject enrichment activities, when they're doing, they're understanding the topic, they're becoming more clear about it because they're studying on their own, they're doing research into it. Of course, we give them a guideline. We have to give them a guideline, what topics they should cover, how many pages they should do. Even for art integration project, we have for Tamil Nadu, we are doing art integration as the paid state for us is Jammu and Kashmir. So along with both the states, we do a comparison. How we can do comparison on any subtopic. You can do comparison of their culture, their religion, their festivals, their food habits, anything which will develop an understanding of what is happening. Now, this also board has started keeping in mind that we should be aware of what is happening in other parts of India. So they provide in-depth learning that motivates the students to dig deeper into the discipline. So they gather a more in-depth understanding of the topic. These enrichment activities need to challenge the students and permit them to apply this knowledge to the next level. So whether they realize or not, the children are understanding things in a different way. The perspective is changing, which will help them in future also. When they go for higher education, they can do project work easily. So these activities become an important instrument to learn the processes by which knowledge is generated in a particular discipline. And it ought to provide an opportunity to students to explore their own interest, as well as understanding of the nature of particular discipline. So it is important that subject enrichment activities be conducted for every term with focus and rigor. And for social science, we take up the project work as a subject enrichment activity. To the teachers to facilitate the students to design and execute the relevant project. How we are planning, what we are doing, it's entirely up to the teachers to guide. And teachers are like facilitators here. We will set the ball rolling, as we say. We give the ideas to the children and then children have to execute it. So it is suggested that social science being the subject relevant to social context, right? So we are very much related to society, sociology. So the projects have to be related to art and culture. And they should include development of life skills also. Like what you said, how much water we are using. So that is, you're making them understand the importance of water. So what type of skills, life skill have they learned also should be emphasized. So art is not only about self-expression, but is more about perceptions, a special way of understanding and responding to the work. So exploring into ideas, these projects make us explore new ideas and meanings through the work of artists, experts, writers, poets, the students would develop. See, all this will be more relevant to English, but of course, we also can explore into ideas and which will help the students to develop imagination and critical awareness also. Right. That was the first part of my topic today, teachers. So multiple assessment tools. These are the different type of tools which we have in 9 and 10, which we have to do besides the 80-mark summative exam. Teachers, I hope I have tried to explain in very short time what are the different things which are expected by the board. If you have any doubt, teachers, you can please ask me, and sir is also there to clear your doubts also. So teachers, please feel free to ask any doubts, because next I will go into the the map skills. What are the different map skills which we have, or the different maps which we are supposed to do in class 10? I will take up that in a very visual way. So anything you want to ask about these assessment, teachers, you are most welcome. Any doubts if you have? Of course, our group is always open for all doubts. Our associate school group is there, WhatsApp group is there. But as and whenever you feel any doubt, you can always come back to us and ask. But if anything you want more clarification, you can ask here also. Yes, teachers, anything? Any doubts? No doubts? I think everybody is aware of what is expected from us to do, but I just thought I will go through it once. Now, next I will take up today is maps, class 10. What are the different maps which we are supposed to do? That will be strategies to develop map skill among students. 1 minute, I'll just share the screen. Yes. So entire class 10 maps. I will just visually go through it, because even we have to be sure that children are very thorough with the maps. This is one place where they can get full marks. So, and every chapter, wherever maps are required, we have to make sure that they regularly are doing those maps. It is very, very important to do the maps while we are teaching the lessons. It's utmost, sometimes we teachers tend to leave it for the end. We should never do that, because children lose interest if you do it in the end. So it has to be taught while we are doing the lessons. So 1 minute. So maps, multiple assessment. So I had gone through some notes which we had for class 10, how we should do maps, how we should teach the maps. So different types of maps are there. See, first thing we can do is what I feel children, even though they have come to class 10, they are still not aware of all the states of India. It's really sad to say that even now some states, they are not. If you ask them where is Chhattisgarh, they will think twice. Or if you ask them where is, Odisha, they'll think. But these, we have to tell them at the beginning that buy one big political map of India and hang it in your room, where regularly you're looking at that map. See, every day if you're looking at something, it becomes easy for you to learn. So let them ask the children to hang a political map of India in their room. And while we are teaching, whatever map you are teaching, say soil also, first we do soil, right? Resource and development, geography lesson, first class 10, we are teaching them soil map. Here also we have to make them understand the different types of soil found state-wise. We should not just demarcate. In soil, definitely we don't have to locate and label. So two ways we are doing maps in class 9 and 10. One is identification. Second is locate and label. So in identification, the places will be marked, shading will be done. We have to just write the answer. And in locate and label, they have to pinpoint the place and write the answer also next to it. So identification, soil map comes for identification only. First of all, we should know what maps come for what. See, history is basically for identification. In geography also, some maps are for identification, some maps are for location and labeling. Now, always they should use symbols to ease out the thing. So for soil map, they have to use symbols. What are the symbols used? They have to very clearly mark it. Then they have to be very clear about which maps to study and how to study. Now, CBSE always releases a list of map along with the syllabus. List of map. There is changes every year. You will see some variation comes. So we as teachers should be very sure of what list of maps they should know, and we should share it with the children and make children. See, in DAV, we have a map book, which is very useful. We tell them always to bring the map book. It's a thin map book. If you don't have map book also, always tell them to bring. Whenever you're teaching a lesson, let the maps be with them also. Alongside, they can mark the maps. This will help them to learn the places easily. And when they are revising, when in the end also, when they're preparing for the board maps, board exam, the map should be there in front of them along with the question answers so that they can easily learn it. And they have to practice every day. We should tell them allot 5 minutes daily for practicing of maps. This will help them to understand the maps better. And the more they do it, the better they will do it. So sometimes children tend to ignore the maps, but they should not ignore because these are short maps. So complete map, let us see the slide once. Complete maps of class 10. Now, nationalism in India, that is history. Indian National Congress session. They give questions on maps of these different sessions. So first was Calcutta session. So Calcutta, where is it? They should very clearly know it is in West Bengal. And in this session, it can be question-based map work. So in this session, Gandhiji convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat as well as Swaraj. So they should know the background also a little bit when they are doing this Calcutta session.
Vibha ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Just to supplement, teachers, please teach this particular map while teaching that particular incident. When you are teaching non-cooperation movement, you show this place and make them mark it. Do not keep till the end of the lesson. Say, for example, you are teaching Jallianwala Bagh massacre, show them Punjab, show them Amritsar, and make them mark it. So
Yes.
children will be able to connect it with the incident. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre is there in their mind, and with that incident, they will be able to connect to the place on the map, and that will help them to understand it better and keep it in their memory better. Say, I told this specifically because many teachers, they wait till the end of the lesson to teach map. Once the lesson is over, okay, let us now learn the map word. Don't do that. As the lesson goes on, wherever you find these important places which children have to mark, do it then and there and make them practice it then and there. Non-cooperation movement beginning, after Khilafat movement, Gandhiji decided to start the non-cooperation movement. That time itself you show Calcutta, and make them mark it in their map book. Yes, ma'am, you please continue.
So while we are teaching, when we are teaching nationalism of India, let them come to the class with a political map of India. In CBSE, they will always give political map of India. So let them understand all the states. That is why I said, let the children hang one big political map on the wall of their rooms. Let them look regularly, daily. If they're looking at the political map, they will definitely learn all the states. That one problem I have seen in children, they are still not aware of the different states of India. If they are not aware of the states of India, it is very, very difficult for them to mark the places. See, if CBSE will not insist on exact location. If you are nearby, one, say 0.5 centimeter up or down also, it is okay. But it has to be in the correct state. They can't mark something in the wrong state. So that location they should know, and that they have to learn it by looking at political map of India.
Moreover, sometimes, instead of asking the place, they may ask the state also. For
Yeah,
example,
that's what.
for example, the state in which Jallianwala Bagh massacre
Yes.
took place. So children must know that it is Punjab.
Punjab.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Continue.
So when we are teaching also, no, when you're teaching, say Calcutta, you should tell them it is in the state of West Bengal. So they're very, very sure which state they will mark that place. So first is Calcutta, that is the non-cooperation movement started.
Second one, Nagpur.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. And then we have Nagpur session of 1920. In this session, the Congress adopted a resolution for non-cooperation movement under leadership of Gandhi. So where is Nagpur? We should very clearly make, what we can do is when they're writing Nagpur, let them write the state in bracket.
Correct.
So they will always remember them. That problem will not occur. Next is Madras. This they should not make a mistake. So Madras 1927, and during this session, Jawaharlal Nehru proposed the resolution for complete independence. Next, we have nationalism in India again, where we are doing important centers of Indian national movement. So first, we have Champaran. This is a very favorite question of CBSE. So 1916, Gandhiji traveled to Champaran in Bihar to inspire the peasants to struggle against the oppressive plantation system. If we teach history like a story, if we tell them Gandhiji came, he did so and so work in Bihar, he went to Champaran. While we are telling the story, we should tell them to look at the map also and understand where did Gandhiji go, where is Champaran. So they should know Champaran is in Bihar, where he fought for the peasants. Then we have Kheda, which is in Gujarat. Here also Satyagraha, he supported the peasants of Kheda district who were suffering from shortage of food due to crop failure. Next important place is Ahmedabad. Here Satyagraha movement was held amongst the cotton mill workers. Where is Ahmedabad? Gujarat. We should very clearly again and again emphasize the name of the state for them. Next, what sir was just saying, Amritsar. Amritsar, when we are saying very clearly, we should tell them Amritsar is in Punjab. And here, Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place. So when we are explaining Jallianwala Bagh massacre in detail about what happened, how the crowd was killed by General Dyer, everything when we are explaining, let them look at the map and visualize what had happened during the Jallianwala Bagh massacre and what type of park it was. It had only one gate, one entry, one exit. People could not come out, how they were killed while climbing the wall. All this story when we are telling them, history should be like a story to make it interesting also. So Amritsar, 13th April 1919, Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Punjab. Then Chauri Chaura incident in Uttar Pradesh in Gorakhpur. Here, when they were taking out a peaceful demonstration in a bazaar, suddenly it turned violent. And after this incident only, Gandhiji stopped the non-cooperation movement. So along with the place, the history of the place, the state of the place to make it easy to remember also. Then we have the Salt March, Dandi, which is in Gujarat, where ceremonially Gandhiji violated the salt law by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. And this marked the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. This is history question. Very, very few.
Pardon, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon, ma'am. 1929 December Lahore session can also be
Not
added
here.
along with these
Okay,
4 meetings.
Right. We have
first one is Calcutta, second one is
Right.
Nagpur, third one
then
Madras.
Lahore.
Next December 1929 can also be added. When they write the essay, the detailed answer, they used to number the sessions. Then I used to tell them, this is for the math's sake, I am giving you all these here in order, but not to number it. This is the 4th meeting which was conducted, Congress meeting. They are not supposed to say that.
Right. We should add that also.
You can add
That
that.
is not, excuse me, ma'am, that is not meant for board exam marking.
Yeah.
ma'am,
Maybe
only
that
for
is why
answering.
it is not here. It's not
Yeah.
for the board, maybe.
So
Yeah.
it's not for board exam, but
Not
Or
for
not
board
map
exam.
work, maybe not for the map work, that is
Not
why
meant
board
for
has
map
it.
work, only for writing question answer.
Ah,
Oh,
that is why
yes.
it is not in this map list.
But you
Totally
can
11
include it.
places.
You can teach it. Okay.
We'll include definitely, ma'am. Now that brings us to the end of history. So history, not much to learn. They should be easily scoring the 2 marks, which is allotted for map work in history. Next, we come to geography map work. Here, some are location labels, some are identification. As soon as the board releases what is for which year. See, year to year map work can change. So we have to keep the latest guideline of CBSE board in mind when we are teaching the map work. It's better in the beginning of the year only, we shared all the details with children so that they also know what maps they have to learn. Now, thermal power plant, Namrup Thermal Power Plant, Assam, Dibrugarh district. This is located 12 kilometers from Namrup. They should know this is Northeast states are one group of states which children are not aware of. So we have to make them aware this middle part is Assam, and there you have Namrup towards northern side and thermal power plant is there.
Actually, the most beautiful part of India, but most
Yes.
neglected or unknown place also for the children and for the people in the south especially.
They are not aware, because in my previous school also I used to ask them which are the 7 sisters. They could never tell.
Unique culture, unique geography,
Yes, yes.
beautiful place.
And the place
Today
is-
that Assam teachers also absent, so we are not getting any.
Yeah.
If they was present, we can ask something about Assam.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, each and every northeastern state it has got its own unique culture, its own unique geography. So, a lot of things to study. Even our textbooks ignore northeast, I think, to a large extent.
I have visited some places, sir. Shillong, I have been, Meghalaya, that is, and then Kaziranga and Dibrugarh, of course, and Assam also. Beautiful. It is really untouched. The more extreme places you go, it is better, in fact. Very beautiful. But now there is a lot of disturbance. Like Meghalaya, it's very difficult now to travel, especially, they say. But it's really beautiful. It's worth visiting. Culture is different. Okay, next we have thermal power plant. We have Singrauli. So when we are teaching, we should also tell them where it is located so that they get a clear picture about it. NTPC power plant is there. Then, of course, Ramagundam in South India. It is a part of a national thermal power project, power corporation, and it is located in Telangana district. So at least they should mark in the correct state. Little up, down doesn't matter. They will not see so much when they're correcting the paper. But if the state is wrong, you will get absolutely 0. Next, we come to nuclear power plants. Narora, that is Uttar Pradesh, which is famous for nuclear power plant, which has 2 reactors. Then we have Tarapur in Maharashtra. This is located in Palghar. And it was the first commercial nuclear power plant station built in India. Next, we have Kakrapara, which is, in fact, if we can, teachers, I will be sharing with you these PPTs. So you can show to children also. They will, at least when they see it visually, they understand it better. So Kakrapara Atomic Power Plant, which is in Gujarat near the Tapi River. Then we have Kalpakkam in our own state, near this is 80 kilometers south of Chennai, which is famous for the nuclear power production, fuel processing, reprocessing, and waste treatment facility that include plutonium fuel fabrication for fast feed. Of course, so much detail they don't need. At least they should know the place and what it is famous for, atomic power station. Now, manufacturing industries, under this, you have cotton textile industries. Kanpur, Manchester of North India, very, very famous in Uttar Pradesh, where first production textile industry was started. Then we have Indore in Madhya Pradesh, which has the largest cotton textile industry. Then we have Surat, which is also known as the textile city of Gujarat. And it is one of the oldest and most widespread industry in Surat. The first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854 in Maharashtra. Then in South, we have Coimbatore, which is also known as Manchester of South India, and it has center of textile spinning and weaving mills. Then we come to manufacturing industries. First, most important is iron and steel plants. Here they have to know the states because children get confused. Bihar, then Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, they should be very clear which states are where, the newly formed states. Now they are not new, but then still we call them newly formed states. So Bokaro Steel Plant is located in Bokaro district of Jharkhand, and it is the fourth integrated public sector steel plant built with Soviet help. Durgapur, which is in West Bengal, is one of the integrated steel plants of SAIL in the eastern Indian state of West Bengal. It was set up with the help of United Kingdom. Next, we have Bhilai, which is in Chhattisgarh. So they should know where Chhattisgarh is the India's first and main producer of steel rail, as well as major producer of white steel plates and other steel products. Next, we have Jamshedpur, which was the first industrial city in India, very, very close to West Bengal also, just at the border. And almost the entire town works in the steel industry. So most of the people are working in that industry. Next, we have Vijayanagar, where we have the Jindal Vijayanagar steel plant in Karnataka, and spreads over 37,000 acres of land. Next, we have in Tamil Nadu, we have Salem steel plant. A unit of SAIL is a steel plant involved in the production of stainless steel, and it is located along the Salem-Bangalore highway, national highway in Tamil Nadu. Manufacturing industries, Software Technology Park. This is very easy to remember because most of them are capitals, except one or two. Say Noida, of course, is very, very famous near Delhi, NCR. And here it is the IT hub, Noida in Uttar Pradesh. Then Gandhinagar is the IT hub in Gujarat. Then we have Mumbai and Pune. These are the two IT hubs of Maharashtra. Then we have Hyderabad, which is the backbone for the growth of software and hardware industry in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana for the last 3 decades. Bangalore in Karnataka is also very famous. It has emerged as one of the largest IT cluster across the globe and is also known as the Silicon Valley of India. Then we have Chennai, which has become operational since 1995. And it has 5 sub-centers as Coimbatore, Madurai, Puducherry, Tirunelveli, and Trichy. Thiruvananthapuram is in Kerala. It was set up in 1992, and it has been the backbone for the growth of software and hardware industry in Kerala and Lakshadweep. Thiruvananthapuram emerged as one of the leading IT clusters in India. Last lesson, lifelines of national economy. Here, they should know the names of ports, okay, but other than ports, airports, they should know the names of the airport also. So let us start with the ports first. Kandla. Now, last time only I saw when children were asked to mark Kandla, they mark little above. They have marked in the correct state, but little above. Then I asked them, what are you marking? You're marking ports. How can we port inside the state? It has to be at the border. These simple things sometimes, children miss out. So we should, when we are teaching also, we should emphasize that port means it is near the sea. So the first port after independence to develop was Kandla, and it is known as the Deena Dayalan port. Next, the biggest port. Here, the features are important also because they will ask question. Name the spacious, natural, and well-sheltered harbor found in Maharashtra. So they should know the features of that port also. So this is the biggest port with spacious, natural and well-sheltered harbor in Maharashtra. Then right along the coast, we are traveling. So from Maharashtra, we move little south, that is Goa. Mormugao is a premier, highest iron ore exporting port of the country. So this is an important feature. So when we are teaching the lesson also, we should emphasize, tell children to mark why this port is famous. Then we have in Karnataka, New Mangalore, which caters to the export of iron ore from Kudramukh mines. Next, in Kerala, we have Kochi, which is extreme southwestern port located at the entrance of a lagoon with a natural harbor. After this, we have in Tamil Nadu, extreme southeastern port in Tamil Nadu, Tuticorin, which is a natural harbor and has a rich hinterland. So the land behind the port is very, very rich in its production of various things. So that is why it has developed so much. The oldest artificial port of the country is Chennai, and it ranks next to Mumbai in terms of volume of trade, amount of trade and cargo which is exported from here. Then we have the deepest landlocked and well-protected post, landlocked. So all around it, you have land and it is well-protected port, and it is Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Next in Odisha, we have Paradeep, which specializes in the export of iron ore. Then we have Haldia, which is developed as a subsidiary port. So to support Kolkata port, which was getting congested, another port was developed, a smaller port to help it, which was called Haldia in West Bengal. And of course, Kolkata port is also there. Next, we come to international airport.
Namaste, ma'am. Actually, we have 6 ports along the western coast and 6 ports along the eastern coast. So if children start to learn in that order, right from Gujarat, say let them start from the first
Kandla.
port, Kandla. Kandla, if they start and if they end with Kolkata, that order if they learn, it will be easy for them to mark it actually.
And even states, they will remember them.
Yeah, states they will remember, and that order if they keep in their mind, it is a bit easier actually. 6 along the western coast, 6 along the eastern coast. Yes, ma'am, carry on.
Right. Then we come to the last part, that is international airports. Here we have to make sure children learn the name of the ports also, because that is asked. So first, Amritsar. So when we are doing Jallianwala Bagh, we'll make sure they learn the state, so it will be easy for them to mark the airport also. So once they know the state, they know the place, it becomes simple for them. So the airport found in Amritsar is called Raja Sanchi Airport. Then we have in Delhi, easy to remember, Indira Gandhi International Airport, and is a primary, very, very important international airport serving Delhi in India. It is the 17th busiest airport in the world and the 6th busiest airport in Asia. It's handling around 70 million passengers. Then we have in Mumbai, we have the Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. We can tell them, Shivaji was a Marathi, right? He was from Maharashtra. So keeping that in mind, they have named the airport. So most of the airports, they have named like that based on their important personalities in particular state. So the second busiest airport in the country in terms of total and international passenger traffic after Delhi. Then we have Meenambakkam Airport in Chennai, which is the 6th busiest airport in India, and it has also 49th busiest airport in Asia. Then in Kolkata, famous personality, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Based on him, the airport was named, so they should remember that way. It is an international airport located in Kolkata, West Bengal, India, and it serves the Kolkata metropolitan area and is the aviation hub for the entire eastern and northeastern India. Of course, now in Assam, Guwahati, they have the airport, but this caters to Bihar, you don't have any airport, right? So West Bengal, caters to a lot of people who are traveling to Bihar and Northeast also. They have to go via Kolkata always. So that is why it is called the aviation hub. Now, Hyderabad, Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, found in the capital Indian state of Telangana, capital of the Indian state of Telangana. It was opened in 2008 and it replaced the old airport, which was there, much smaller airport in Begumpet. Now we have the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. Some questions are there. When I share with you teachers, you can take printout, you can do exercises in your class also. These maps can be used to locate the places. They can learn easily if we give them these. So airports, steel plants, nuclear power plants, then cotton textile. So for exams, we can use this.